It's just about that time of the week. Time for the Weekly Weebs Podcast. Grab your friends, family, waifus, and husbandos, and join your favorite weebs for an exciting show of anime talk. Hosts Crimson, Frenchie, Wigwiki, and Zario Machini will review and suggest shows, talk about news from the industry, and tackle some of the biggest arguments in the world of anime. It's the Weekly Weebs Podcast, starting now.
Hello, everybody. This is Zario Machini, and you're back at your favorite podcast, The Weekly Weebs. But this is the portion where we don't talk about people beating the hell out of each other. This is the portion where we talk about what we watched last week. And what
Which
we watched
sometimes involves people beating the hell out of each other.
Sometimes.
Like Windbreaker.
But we're not talking about Windbreaker this time. We're talking about words bubble up like sody pop. Frenchie, tell us about that sody pop.
So I literally just assigned this only because it had a funny sounding name. And obviously, as my topic last week, we were going over stupid anime names, which was really fucking funny.
It was fun. It was a good time.
But when I saw this pop up on Netflix, because I was either going to do this or...
Did you see it soda pop up?
I will strangle you, I swear to God.
Kinky.
You'll be yelling harder, Daddy, but I won't hear you because your vocal cords will be snapped.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like...
It'll come out like... I really enjoyed this movie. It wasn't... I was kind of hoping it would have like, you know, not necessarily a super sad ending, but like kind of a deeper ending than just them, you know, finding the record and stuff like that. But it was just an enjoyable little watch.
Yeah.
It was nice to just watch something cute that wasn't like 12 episodes long or longer. It was just a little hour and a half. They put a lot of work into the character design that I really loved. The representation for a kid that is not nonverbal, but that is a thing for a lot of people that have some form of autism or communication disorder, of putting headphones on to knock out like outside stimuli and so they don't have to talk to people, which I related to that a lot. I also don't want people to talk to me most of the time.
Yeah.
And then her not being confident in her smile because of the braces. I just thought it was a nice little like, oh, these teenagers are dealing with some stuff, and I felt sad for her when he moved. Yeah,
that's really rough. Hopefully in the future they maybe come back together or something.
They your name it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just kind of a fun watch. Very beautiful to look at. Like the animation is like fluid and gorgeous. I love how the colors just kind of pop out at everything. And yeah, the two main characters I liked a lot. I didn't really care much for any of the side cast a whole lot. I mean, there was the Spanish kid that would graffiti the main dude's haikus around as a way to teach himself how to write in Japanese. I think that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That was a fun way of kind of like a nice fun little twist.
Yeah.
To the storytelling with that.
Kind of helped get his... because it helped the main character kind of sort of forced him to get out of his shell because people were more aware of his haiku. But yeah, I really like the main character and how like the whole reason he has the job that he has is because his mom injured herself, so he had to kind of pick up the slack for bills. And then you meet his dad, and he's, you know, fully willing to help out more around the house as long as you don't ask him to cook. So he could help out his wife more. And I don't know. And the main girl, I can't remember either of their names. Oh wait, yeah, most of the people had nicknames. I think he was Cherry and she was Smile. Right? Yeah.
Because his name is Sakura. So.
Right.
Best soccer I've seen in anime in a long time.
Yeah.
Such a high bar. But yeah, I really liked how even though she was not confident in her own smile, really her kind of goal in life was just to make other people smile.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really nice.
The stuff with the record player was so... It made me so anxious. Because like when they found it and it was all warped, my first thought was, "Oh no, she's gonna do it." And I was like, "Please don't." And
I
then
had
it
so
happened.
much secondhand embarrassment from that scene.
Yeah, when she did, I was like, "Ah!" Like I was freaking the fuck out.
I knew it was going to be fucking behind the fridge. As soon as she said, "Can you help move the fridge?" I'm like, "It's behind the fucking fridge. They haven't moved it in years, and that's where it's at."
I didn't expect her to break it. But as soon as she was like, "I have to fix this warp," that's when I was like, "No, don't fucking touch it."
Yeah,
And then she tries to glue it together,
that was like
and it just keeps falling apart.
that hurt.
It's so sad.
And then finding out that the clock was the other one, which I saw the clock a while back when they were first looking for the picture. And I'm like, "Isn't that?" And then I didn't think twice about it. And then when they talked about it again, I'm like, "I knew it."
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice the clock at all before that scene came up. to be honest, who uses a record as a clock?
A lot of vintage people.
Really?
Mhm.
I've never seen it.
There's a lot of like vintage kind of stores where like they turn like those old kind of things into like other stuff. Like I've seen like records as clocks before.
Interesting.
So like that that's nothing, that wasn't anything new to me, but
Well, apparently it was new to all of them because none of them checked
yeah, that's true.
until the end.
I like how this show also handled like you know, again, like the guy having like, you know, issues with like having like a kind of like a speech disorder in a way, of where because he was saying how he doesn't like to talk to, you know, people, and that's why he wears the headphones, is more of like a, kind of also like a sensory thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. Like I love the representation that they have for like I don't know how to use the proper words for it, but it's not something we normally
Potato.
see in like traditional anime.
Exactly.
Like we have somebody who has like a difficulty with speaking with people and has like some sensory like sensory issues, and then we also have somebody who also has like buck teeth, so she's very self-conscious about herself, which a lot of people are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have fucked up teeth. I get it.
So I do like the representation there. Wiki, I know off air you said that you did not like the animation.
Nope.
I have to disagree. I loved the animation art style because of it.
I love the art style. The animation just felt weird to watch.
The animation for this, to me, kind of felt like Egghead a little bit. The Egghead arc for One Piece, and like how it kind of flowed and moved. It just felt so crisp, clean, and nice. And it
felt like a cartoon.
Yeah, like
a little more than like, I guess anime is a cartoon, but
yeah. It felt more like a
Western
traditional northern cartoon.
Yeah.
But it was so cool because it was so vibrant. It was so colorful.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved how everything moved and felt, and it felt like it gave the world more life.
What? Why did you not like the animation, Wiki? I didn't hear that.
It just
part of
felt
your
weird to
conversation.
move. When I was looking at the screen.
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull it up. No, that's not DSG. That's Gecko Moria.
Gecko Moria was my favorite character. In
I was
this movie
looking at
for
his
sure.
powers.
10 out of 10 character in the show, Gecko Moria.
There it is.
When he started taking all of the shadows from the people from the old folks' home, that was crazy.
Yeah, but so like when I was watching it, when I was looking at it, it just felt like kind of a 3D-ish in some spots when they were moving.
The characters or the environment?
Yes.
Interesting.
Like when one of the what the first 5 minutes of the show or some shit like that, they pan over a city and like cars driving over a road.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That just looked weird to me. It just looked
Gotcha.
weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
I liked the artwork a lot, and I did like how like vibrant the colors were and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just when I was looking at it, sometimes I just was like, oh.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I'll see if I can pull them. I gotta wait for these ads.
I will say, like, I mean, I know, like, with our line of work, in heavy quotes, we do experience a lot of different animations, and we kind of come to terms with, like, some that we like and some that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get that.
I don't know if I noticed any like 3D with
I don't
the
think I noticed
character
any
models.
either.
How many fucking ads are
Which
gonna pop up? hate
I
this.
mentioned this before. I actually really like 3D environments, but I hate 3D character models in anime.
Frenchie,
Yeah.
do you have any thoughts while we're waiting for Wiki to pull up the stuff?
I spoke first.
Do you have any more thoughts? Anything
It
that
was a
any
cute
specific
show.
spots that
I
you liked?
enjoyed it. Their little meet cute was nice.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy being really obsessed with the idol was kind of creepy.
Yep. I didn't really like him that much, to be honest.
Yeah. But also, it's realistic because there are people like that in every walk of life.
Facts.
I don't know. I think the plot is solid for what it is. I don't think there's anything special about it necessarily. It's just a nice little kind of coming of age story for these two kids.
Yep.
I did like the use of haikus. Like, I thought that was a nice twist to something that we normally don't see with these kind of, like, slice of life anime.
Every time I heard it, I kept thinking of fucking volleyball. Haiku.
Fair.
I can't think of the word haiku anymore without haiku.
No, that's valid. I could totally see that.
Do you guys spend much time on Reddit?
No.
Only looking at porn.
Oh,
Alrighty then.
if you're typing a comment in Reddit, there are two bots that could potentially pop up. One will detect your syllables, and if it comes up that whatever you typed can form a haiku, it will rearrange it into a haiku. It's called the haiku bot. But there's also one that if you do what's known as the Sokka haiku, which is when Sokka fucks up a haiku in his haiku battle against the Kyoshi warriors, where he adds an extra syllable, there's a bot that will point that out too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah, that's neat. I guess if you guys are going through Reddit or Frenchie, I guess if you're looking at porn, you can do a porn haiku. And that bot will point it out for you.
This sex sure is neat.
I didn't count the
I don't know, maybe it
syllables,
was
so I
just
don't
because
know if
everything looks so slow. I don't know. I can't find
kind of
the
like
actual
a
scene I'm
stop
looking at.
motiony kind of.
Oh, I love stop motion. I love like claymation stop motion movies. I love those. But it's just, I don't know, it just felt weird. I can't find the specific scene I'm looking at. I know it was in the first part of the movie. But it's not popping up when I move it.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, animation-wise, it reminded me a lot of that blue something, that painting anime that you had us.
Blue Period?
Blue Period, that was it.
Well, it was a Netflix original, so.
That makes sense. It might have had the same studio.
Yeah. That's fair.
So that its animation reminded me a lot of that.
Oh my god.
And I loved the animation of that show.
I just love that show.
Yeah.
I need to figure out. I just put it at number 25 on my top 25 for now till I can figure out where it goes. Because it's definitely top 20.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. actually been thinking about rewatching it. I
Do
want to watch it with Kat, so that way she sees it too.
Do it. All right. Anybody else have any final thoughts, or should we get into ratings?
I'm good. I'm ready for
I was
ratings.
gonna say, I think that's your answer.
Cool.
I'm not gonna be able to tell you shit about the show. I paid like probably 35% attention to it. I am going to have to rewatch it for sure.
Fair enough. It's worth the rewatch. I'll say that. It's a good movie.
The art style reminds me of what's that one show? Is it Raj that we fucking loved from the show?
Oh,
Sonny Boy?
yeah, Sonny
It reminds
Boy.
me a lot
Oh,
of Sonny
man.
Boy's art,
That's fair.
That I can.
and
see
I
that.
love that.
So, I was going through my Crunchyroll watch list to think of the anime assignment for this week, and I never take things off of my watch list after I am done watching them. They just stay, and they just say that they're completed. And so I was scrolling past, and I saw Sonny Boy, and I was like, man, I want to watch this again. So sometime I might, because man, that show's good.
I would never say it to Zerio's face, but you should totally watch One Piece.
You know, maybe someday. Who knows?
But I feel like if someone was to tell it to his face, though, he might actually give it a chance.
No, probably not.
I think at the very least, if you don't watch the 1,000 episodes of One Piece, you should at least watch the new remake that's coming out with it kind of restarting everything in the shorter consistencies.
Assign it.
I fucking will.
All right, cool. All right, well,
Bet.
Frenchie, you want to start us off with ratings?
Sure will.
Cool.
Personal enjoyment, I gave it a 7. I just think it's a very nice watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing necessarily super great about it, but I didn't have a bad time.
Yeah.
Animation, I gave it an 8, and art style a 10, just because I think the art style is extremely unique and beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and the animation is still really solid, but it's not necessarily like on the levels of some of the other shows we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Character development, I gave an 8. That's kind of the whole point of it.
Mic cut out.
Yeah, your mic cut out there.
Character development was an 8.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the whole point of the show, is them kind of learning to accept their faults and grow as people.
Mm-hmm.
World building, I gave a 6. We learned about them all, and that's kind of it. We don't
Yeah.
really know why she's a streamer and why she's actually pretty popular.
Yeah, she seems like everybody knows her.
Yeah. Soundtrack, I gave an 8. I really like the music. This movie. It was, again, very simple, very cutesy, very demure.
Very mindful.
Plot, I gave an 8. It's a sound plot. There's no holes in it, but it's not necessarily anything special.
Mm-hmm.
VA performance, I gave a 7. I like the approach that all the actors took, but because there's no like very emotional moments or anything like that, there's nothing to really give it like really high scores on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, art style's a 10. Uniqueness is a 7. It's a little high school show, but it has its own unique qualities. Recommendability, I gave a 5. I don't know if people really need to take their time to watch it. It's not one of those I'm like, people should watch this. I'm like, it's a good show, and if you decide to watch it, I'll tell you, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But total, I give it a 74.
Nice.
Marley, you're fat.
Who next?
How about you, Crimson?
All right. I'm making some last minute kind of markups.
F. That's your last minute markup. What about you, Wiki? You got yours?
Okay.
I'm adding it up right now.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with my stuff now.
Okay, then go.
Personal enjoyment, I gave a 9. I actually really liked this show a lot. I loved the story. I thought the story was really well done. And I also really liked the animation and art style. I think, weirdly enough, I do think, in my opinion, that's kind of what carried a lot of the show was the animation and the art style for it, and how vibrant and colorful it was. It really kept it kept my attention. Which, speaking of animation, I gave a 10. I love the animation. I thought they did a great job. Character development, I was gonna give it a 9. I think I'm gonna give it an 8 because we do see that like there is development throughout the story, but it only seems like it's with like the two main characters versus like kind of the whole like cast with the friends. It doesn't seem like we don't see them develop too much, which I know this is kind of like a, one of those like rom-com kind of shows where it's mostly about the two main characters.
Yeah.
But that's really it, and we don't really see the girl develop to be accepting who she is and what she like, accepting what she looks like until the end, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Soundtrack I can give an 8. I like the soundtrack. It fits very well with the show, but I'm not going to go out of my way to kind of like listen to it often, kind of thing. Like it fit the show, but it's not something I would just listen to casually.
Sure.
We're going to give a 6. I feel like it's there. It's not the best. It's fine because it's not really about the world itself. It's just the world. It's
they're living in our world.
Yeah, it's our world, which sucks. Plot, I gave an 8.
Okay.
Plot, I gave an 8. I think the plot, again, I like the plot a lot. I like that, again, it's about somebody who's self-conscious about themselves and somebody else who basically has a hard time talking with people and has some, like, sensory issues, basically coming to terms with how they are and kind of opening up. I really like that a lot. VA performance, I give an 8 also. I really like the voice acting performance, the English voice actors for this. I think they nailed it. Art style, I also gave a 10. I love the art style in this show. Uniqueness, I gave a 5. It's a rom-com. The only thing that makes it unique is it's very pretty. Recommendation, I gave a 6, kind of like what Frenchie was saying. Like, I think that some people will like this show, but it does seem like this show is mostly an animation show-off kind of thing. Like, there is story,
sure.
there is story, there are moments to enjoy, but in the end, most of it is about, hey, look how much money we spent on animation. So for me is 79.
Cool.
Oh, God, for real.
All right, Wiki.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke?
You guys are going to be
Smoky.
disappointed.
Probably.
Probably not.
I'm going to redo them, so it's okay. Ratings. Person I'm going to give 5. Animation, I give it a 5. Character development, I give a 5. Soundtrack, I give an 8. World building, I give a 5. Plot, I give a 5. Voice acting performance, I give a 5. Art style, I give a 10. Uniqueness, I give a 5. And then recommendability, I gave her a 5 for a total of 58. That will be changed by next Monday.
That reminds me of, I can't remember what show it was, but I think it was the one that I keep forgetting what happens in it, and because I couldn't remember anything about it, I just gave it all 5s.
That's exactly what happened. That's because
valid.
I tried doing what I hear you and Frenchie do all the time.
I do not do it as often. I
But
only
you
do
do
it
it.
at work.
I just learned after today that that's not a good thing for me to do because I can't focus like that.
I only do it when I'm at work and stuff, when I'm in like slow moments at work, because I know that I can, if I need to, I can easily split my attention a little bit, and like just enough to where I can focus a bit on what's going on here.
Oh, yeah.
But if I need to, I can pause it and be like, okay, I need to get to this.
It's like Frenchie,
But if
yeah,
I'm
I'll be playing Skyrim and I'll be watching the anime assignment.
I can't
was
do
like,
that.
I'll play Throne and Liberty. I could watch it. Frenchie does it. It's all good.
I can't play video
Nope.
games and watch anime stuff.
Huh?
I could probably
Yeah.
play a game like Skyrim and watch an anime
I
assignment
couldn't.
because you spend a lot of time just like walking
Roaming.
around and shit. But from what you've said about that Throne game, I don't like if it's anything
Yeah.
like a MOBA or like an MMO,
No, I
I
can't.
would not be able to split my attention.
I'll be sitting there. I'll be watching the boss fights.
Can't do it with Baldur's Gate.
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, that's part of the reason why I've never tried streaming, because I feel like games like that, like Call of Duty, games where I'm like focused on doing stuff like beating a boss, I'm out. I'm not talking. I'm zoned in.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
I
unless
get what
I'm
you mean.
dicking around with you guys. But if I'm trying to I'm trying to grind to get stuff, I'm not
Play Elden
talking.
Ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
happening.
Yep.
And then after that's all right. I was just doing that for 10 minutes. What the fuck? Okay. I heard them talk, but I didn't process any of that information.
I get that.
But yeah, no, that movie is going to be getting a rewatch 100%.
I
Hell
just like
yeah.
it when we play Elden Ring and we can just shit on 6 the whole time and really piss him off.
God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like those times I don't care about that stuff, but I'm trying to grind for gear.
You're
Brother.
right. All right. I'll do my ratings. Personal enjoyment, I gave an 8. I liked the movie a lot. Very fun watch. Animation, I gave a 7. It was good looking. Character development, I gave an 8. It's pretty much just for the 2 main characters, though, honestly. I don't feel like the rest of the cast had much, but the main 2 had enough to carry. Soundtrack, I gave a 7. It definitely fit the show. It was lovely. I don't think it's going to stick in my head past today, though, if that makes sense. World building, I gave a 6. They gave us really everything we needed to know, and that was fine. Plot, I gave a 7. Voice acting, I gave a 6. I feel like the voices matched the characters well enough, but they didn't, like, blow me away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Art style, I gave a 10. It's gorgeous. The show's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Uniqueness and recommendability, I both gave those 6s. Total is 71.
All right, so that brings our average to 71.
Nice.
Which, honestly, I can live with that.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. Until
Every Monday.
you do your stuff.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. If you guys
I gotta stop playing Throne
watched
and Liberty.
this movie, let us know how you felt about
That's
it.
a problem.
If you hear this, if you hear our review and that makes you want to watch the movie, let us know about that too. And then we'll catch you again next week. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Weekly Weebs podcast.
We'll be back next week with more exciting anime talk.
Make sure to join us every show to stay up to date with what's going on in the world of anime. We'll catch you next time.